A large crowd gathered at the courthouse in St. Anthony to protest the moving of the air ambulance to Labrador.
Hi folks, welcome once again, and any of you that were at the hospital this morning, thank you for your support. And the people that are new here, by the way, it looks like there's a lot because we thought we had a good crowd this morning, but we have a bigger crowd this afternoon. And we have some guest speakers, and as they give them a chance to say what they have to say, and we'll abide by what the RCMP has asked us. But other than that, we're going to make our points get across.
Bay North, and Marshall fully supports this issue of the air ambulance staying in St. Anthony. He is in St. John's right now, sitting in the House of Assembly, fighting on behalf of the people of this district to keep the air ambulance here. He was with the delegation this morning in St. John's, which was 200 people plus on the steps of the Confederation building fighting for the air ambulance. And I just want to bring I just want to say that Mr. Dean and myself has been fighting this issue ever since it happened. We will continue to fight. We feel that this service is essential to this area and to the province as well. And not on the fault of the Labrador. We want them to have their air ambulance as well. And I thank you for coming here and showing your support. And I do want to pass this message along. They requested a meeting with the Premier this morning, and the Premier has refused to meet with the delegation that's in there. And basically saying put a formal request in. He'll get to it when he gets down through his 15 or 16 pages of requests that they do have. So I do say that. So I say bring Medevac back, and we got to continue with our fight. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. That was wonderful. Next we have Elaine Hillier. Where are you, Elaine?
Speak up loud. Okay, when I think of our heritage, I feel very proud, and that certainly has a lot to do with the life and example of Dr. Grenfell. He came and saw people in desperation, and as was stated this morning so clearly by Mayor Sims, he certainly did whatever he could to make northern Newfoundland, Labrador, and other parts of the province a better place to live. He was no respecter of persons, from the poorest of the poor to the sickest of the sick, to the richest of the rich, from the shabbiest of homes to the halls of power and fame. He was no respecter of age, the color of our skin, which culture we belong to. He was no respecter of political stripes, and in one's or of one's place in society. Everyone was valued, and everyone was of worth and worth saving. This is where I wish to point my words today. Everyone is valued, and everyone is worth saving. It doesn't matter if you live in various parts of Labrador, northern Newfoundland, western Newfoundland, central Newfoundland, or eastern Newfoundland. This decision to move the air ambulance from St. Anthony affects all of us. I would be one of the last people to say that the air ambulance should stay here in St. Anthony if it was not for the betterment of the people from various locations across this province. And I would be one of the last people to say that Labrador should not receive a better air ambulance service. We all understand sickness and worry and desperate prayers for loved ones, and we all understand the grief that comes to us when a loved one passes away. We're all in this together, and that's why I say everyone is valued and everyone is worth saving. And I believe that everyone should be treated fairly in terms of response time for air ambulance services. Listen, Western Newfoundland. Listen, Central Newfoundland. Listen, many parts of Eastern Newfoundland. Just listen. This move to shift the air ambulance service to Goose Bay in order to shorten response times to Labrador is going to increase the waiting times for you and your loved ones. And on top of that, because of longer flying times to reach destinations, there's going to be increased downtime for the pilots and the plane because of flying time and maintenance regulations that have to be followed. My understanding is that the air ambulance service location in St. Anthony gives a fair response time. Not a perfect response time, but a fair response time to everyone in this beloved province of ours. While I live here, and some of the most cherished people in my life live here, I don't want Northern Newfoundland to receive any better services than any other part of the province, but I do believe in fairness and equality for everyone, and it just so happens that the best place for that in relation to the air ambulance response times is for the air ambulance to stay in its present location.
Here.
I'd just like to end by saying, as loved our fathers, so we loved. Where once they stood, and they stood here and in various parts of this province to fight for what they believed was right through the hardships of their lives. As loved our fathers, so we loved. Where once they stood, we stand. Our prayers we raise to heaven above. God, guard thee, Newfoundland, and not just to say Newfoundland and Labrador, but all of Newfoundland and Labrador. Thank you.
This is not only a health issue for me. This is difficult for me to do. All because a few arrogant people and a few of what I call dictators in St. John's, I'm going to have to sit back, watch my son and my 2 grandchildren leave in the next, I don't know when. Prima Williams, shame on you. I wonder, was that your heart they operated on? Do you have a heart, I wonder? Shame on you! You're playing with people's lives! Instead of tearing down the Grenfell legacy like you're doing, you should be trying to build it back up and make it stronger.
I've sat back for a while and haven't said a whole lot, just from the meetings that I was to with our gracious host, Mr. Kennedy. But I have some things written up here that I need to say to everybody. First of all, I would like to make something clear to everyone standing here today. I stand here wearing no color for any political party. I stand here as a citizen of the great province, as a citizen of St. Anthony, and as an individual, as a community leader. Elected by the people to speak on their behalf, and by God, that is what I will do from now on. I am not sitting back any longer.
In St. Anthony, I'm Tim Clark reporting for StAnthonyNews.ca.